Oh my goodness. Caught me in a big stretch. Folks, welcome to another Ask Us Anything call with LifterLMS. We'll be here for the next, I would say 45 minutes to an hour or so. I am hoping that you come into the live while we're live and that you've got questions to share. The invite that we mail out has the ability to add questions before the call, but there were no questions submitted before the call. So this call will be totally dependent upon your participation. So that said, you want to put your questions right into the chat, and realistically tell us, who you are, where you're from, if you're working on a cool project or not, or anything like that. Because like I said, we're here for another hour or so, and we want to make sure that we have some content to cover. That said, if you want to try LifterLMS, lifterlms.com/try. That'll take you to a $1 demo. It's good for 30 days. We host the website for you, so you don't have to build anything in your own site or anything like that. And it's a fully populated demo site. So it has fake students and courses, and all of the LifterLMS Infinity Bundle tools are in there, plus a couple of extras. And it gives you the idea of, hey, this is what a fully populated website would be like. This is like what running the LMS would be like if I built it and populated it with content. And I think it's a really great way to experience LifterLMS and get a firmer understanding, before you try to build something on your own from scratch. That's a weird one for me, Emily, because I can remember way back when, I remember the first time I installed LifterLMS, and I was like, all right, so, and then you open it up and you're like, well, it's blank, nothing's in here. Now what do I do? Right. And then you find the course builder and you're like, all right. And then you add a section well, now it automatically adds a section and a few lessons for you. Right. It didn't used to do that. But I remember it just being blank and being like, well, how does this look on the front end? I don't understand this. But when you have the demo site, everything's kind of like pre-built and use it like a template, and it makes it easier to duplicate and grow and learn the system, I think. So I like the demo site. Now, that all said, LifterLMS is free. The core Lifter plugin is you can add courses, you can manage members, you can have memberships, you can do all kinds of cool things. Like, you can do a lot with the free core plugin, but there may be something pardon me, in our add-on menu, or maybe you want to connect to a payment gateway and start selling your courses. Well, then you're going to want to take a look at our add-ons. And for the add-ons, we have a 55% off coupon available for you at lifterlms.com. This one is /AMA-gift /AMA-gift. And I think that takes us out to any comments. I think we've got Delphine with us. And so Delphine says, good morning from Merritt, British Columbia, Canada. I was speaking with Gary Alderson yesterday, and he tells me he's not on your mailing list for Ask Us Anything. Any way you could add him to the list? And then you put his email on, and I just put it on live. I'm sorry about that, Delphine. He might get a lot of emails now. Yeah, we could submit that. If he ever unsubscribed from it, I think that prevents us from re-adding him, I think. I'm not sure, but we can take a look at that. Emily, tell me, how's your week going?
My week is going well. I'm lining up a whole lot of new client work. I have a lot of custom development, website optimization, and like an NDA to sign today for a redesign. So it's like a full stack of projects this week. Just getting kicked off. So that's cool.
That is cool. I don't. It's been unique. It's we had a couple of really slow periods in October, and right when I was like, oh, I'm going to get pissy about it, or I'm going to be upset about it, I was like, you know what? Just ride this sucker out, man. Go for a bike ride, go to the gym, do something different. And that's kind of what I've done. So it's been fun. Yeah, not too busy, kind of relaxed. It's a really weird feeling, right? Because it's like, hey, I'm totally relaxed.
Yeah.
All right. I did want to learn some new things, so I decided to try something new. Do you want to take a stab and guess at what I tried to figure out that might be new?
Um, did you learn how to write CSS?
No, no, that's crazy. Nobody wants to learn that except for people with glasses on lives. No, it's I've been playing a little bit with that and with Etch, but that new shopping cart came out, Fluent Cart, and they didn't have an integration yet for Lifter LMS. And so I was just like, oh, well, I'll probably just wait. And then I was like, you know what? I still want to check it out. And so I did. I put it into one of the Lifter LMS demo sites. And what was really cool about it was like when you go to install it, um, it was a super easy deal. I installed it, I activated it. It took me to a page for setting it up, and it literally just said like, "What's the name of your business?" And I said, Lifter demo site, and then it said, "Are you in the United States?" Yes. It had you pick your country. Using dollars. Yep. And so right here you see it says, "Welcome to Lifter demo." That was the name of the store, right? And boom, it said. Do you want to choose the pages for these things, or do you want us to create the pages? And that's for like the shop, for checkout, for that kind of stuff. I said, no, create the pages, and it did. And I was like, and then it said your onboarding is complete. And I was like, what? You got to be kidding me. Because if you set up WooCommerce, WooCommerce has, it seems like, multiple things to go through to set up. And so I was like, okay, well, this is cool. And so I go into settings here and, Lifter demo, add media, store mode. I have it in test mode right now. I could make it live, I suppose. Put in the address, dollars, bam, bam, bam. Like all of it is pretty dang straightforward. And I've been reading up on this Fluent Cart, and part of why it works so quickly, and I should rephrase that, it's meant to be a lighter shopping cart than say WooCommerce, right? So it's built to be light, to perform well. And so I look at it like if I'm running a website that is already highly dynamic, right? So you're thinking like maybe you've got a CRM tool, maybe you've got an event tool, maybe you've got your LMS in there. You've got a lot of dynamic content, a lot of heavy products. Maybe you've got a community tool, whether that's Fluent Community or Buddy Boss. You've got elements that are large, that code wise weigh the site down and slow it down. And so I did some quick research on Fluent Cart, and Fluent Cart is designed so that it only activates the elements of the plugin it requires based on your use of it. I should probably do some more research to like phrase that in a more intelligent way. But like if you don't have to do licensing, it doesn't activate a licensing module. If you don't have to store inventory, it doesn't go through an inventory module. So it only activates what it needs to operate. And so that's one of the ways that it's able to perform rather quickly. And so then I went into I want to say I went into integrations, but that's not where integrations is at. Where was integrations at? Integrations. Here we go. It's its own menu, integrations. And when I took a look at the integrations, right out of the chute, Fluent CRM, Fluent SMT Community, Fluent Authenticator, Fluent Forms, Fluent Support. All of a sudden, I had like an epiphany. I talk about Fluent CRM probably more than I need to. I like Fluent CRM, and I use Fluent CRM Pro. Well, Fluent CRM Pro automatically integrates with Lifter LMS, and so then I just had like this amazing epiphany. I know that Fluent Cart is working on an integration for Lifter, right? I've heard that through other channels, but in the meantime, I could integrate with Fluent CRM Pro and then use the automations in Fluent CRM Pro to automate the enrollment into courses. And so, does it sound more involved and more confusing than it needs to be? Maybe, but I honestly find using WooCommerce with WooCommerce subscriptions to be insulting and complicated. So I'm like, wait a minute. Fluent Cart does subscriptions, does recurring payments automatically, kind of like Shortcart does. But it obviously integrates with its CRM. So if you're already a Fluent CRM Pro user and Fluent CRM Pro integrates with Lifter, you're able to create automations based off of those purchases in the cart. And you're able to automatically add people to memberships and courses or take people out or do upsells and downsells and do those kinds of things using your CRM automations. So it's pretty cool. The setup was super, super easy. I started playing around inside of it and it seems rather intuitive. So I was pretty impressed with the layout and the appearance of it. The store, in case you're wondering what the store would look like. So, and I didn't style it up at all. I just took it straight out of the box. So if I go to the shop page that is for Fluent, and you'll notice that all of the Fluent pages have that little symbol for Fluent right there. So this is the old WooCommerce shop page. This is the Fluent shop page. If I click that to view it, this is bare bones right out of the dealio, and it gives you a little pop-up for the product, and then you can add that to the cart. You can select the color that you want, add it to the cart, have a great day. Now if you're just selling courses, obviously you're selling digital material, you would just create some kind of an image like a thumbnail, buy this course, buy this membership. I didn't look at the let me go back to pages. I think it was the receipt. Come on, go. There it goes. Pages, because I didn't look at receipt yet. They have a receipt page. Boom. Oh, that's ugly. But yeah, I don't have a receipt to look at, so I guess that makes sense. But did I not totally not share that, or did I share the page?
You stopped sharing a second ago there.
Okay. Yeah, I came back to the tab for StreamYard, and I was just looking at you, and I was like, oh wow, did I just totally not share anything? All right. Delphine has a question in here. We can certainly go over that, and I want to welcome Manuel Saldana to the call. So Delphine says, can you demonstrate how to set up events? Delphine, it's kind of important to know like what you're using for an event. And I might defer this to Emily. Emily can do screen shares and stuff, but like you could use a membership page or a course page as an event, like almost like a custom post type. Like people could sign up, they could register, you could do that. You could build the page as if it were an event. Or if you're going to do like recurring events, maybe you want to look at like Simply Calendar Scheduler, I think it's called, or obviously the event calendar. That's one of the most popular ones. The event calendar has a sister plugin called event ticketing, right? And so you're able to sell tickets to the events in the event calendar. And so and then she here we go. Set up on home page to advertise an individual event. Okay, we can kind of problem solve that. Can I defer that over to you, Emily?
Yeah. So we set up on homepage to advertise individual events. So if I share my screen, I can talk you through a couple of those ways to do it. Depending on how many events you're doing, you might want to consider an event plugin. I'll review those quickly, but we won't go into them in too much depth. But events calendar is one of the more popular ones. I think Fluent has an event one, right? Isn't there like Fluent, or maybe I'm thinking of Fluent Booking. But
Yeah, Fluent Booking is one, and that's for booking like a one-on-one or a meeting. But then there's Pi Calendar, and Pi Calendar is super cool because it will turn any post in your website into an event and adds it to a main calendar,
that's
which is a pretty
cool.
cool thing.
That's cool. But yeah, sounds like Pi Calendar, or the one I've worked with a lot, is from Stellar WP, and it is the events calendar. It creates another post type for you to create events with dates and tickets, and it integrates with WooCommerce. So that's one way to go. What you mentioned is that you might be using your homepage to advertise a certain event, and I can show you how to connect that to Lifter. But We can also use courses or memberships the way Kurt had described. If we were to create like a new category of courses and we were to call these like live events or maybe just events, create that new category. What we can do is we'll have that course category available to us now. So when we create a course, we can call this the September 2025 event, September 2025 Mega Stream event. And then we can add
Mega
this to our
stream.
Mega Stream, and then we add this to our events category. And since we're not likely to have lessons, we could probably chop off our course syllabus. Let's just chop that off. Let's chop off our course continue button because as a part of our event, we're not going to offer like lessons. But you could offer lessons if you wanted to, but I'm just going to make it as simple as possible right now by deleting everything other than maybe our purchase options. So join us live in September. Add to ... We'll add photos, we'll customize this page, etc. But let's publish our course for now and give it a pricing. So then we can add an access plan. Maybe this is a one-time payment for this event. So it's a paid $1,000 one time. And then, I don't know, my little editor's not working here, but save all plans. I wanted to add a description to my access plan.
Yeah, it'll work now that you saved it.
Get access to join us live this September 25. Something like that. And then, here we go. So get access to join us live on September 25th. And a sneaky thing that we can do, then this is the backend infrastructure for our event. I'll show you how to put it on the homepage here in a second. And you might not be going this far with it. You might just be advertising a separate event on the homepage, but I'm showing kind of how you could turn a course into a purchasable event. This is our Zoom link for the 25th of September. And so we don't want to give the Zoom link to everyone. You would just link up your Zoom link right here. So we would make sure that this enrollment visibility is only visible to enrolled users in this course. So basically, if you're not enrolled in this course, you're not going to see the Zoom link button, but you will see everything else. So I don't see the Zoom link option yet. Once I purchase the course, that button will appear for me. And so that's how people could get access. Plus, you could do an LifterLMS engagement to send them an email once they enroll, or have your own CRM handle that for you. But now that we have an event set up in LifterLMS as a demonstration, you might want to add that event to your homepage. Something to promote that. And if you have access to LifterLMS Aircraft, this becomes really quick and easy. What we can do is add a pattern, give it a second to load, maybe an aircraft call to action, and I don't know, like this one seems pretty good. So then say we're going live September.
We're going live September 25.
Yeah, and then we're going to say join us by purchasing access below to our mega stream where we'll get you XYZ results. ETC.
I like XYZ results.
We'll get you XYZ results. I mean, you know, so like we can say we'll solve a problem to get you result without pain. There we go. We'll solve a problem for you to get you result without pain. Limited seats available. Maybe we'll just say that as a marketing thing. And then it would say, get access to our live by purchasing early. Or like fix all your problems today and commit to a change. More sticky. And then replace this Financial Mastery Society. Boom. There we go. And then we would just link this to our course. That's how you could advertise on the homepage to point to your course. And if you wanted to sell an event, you could do that as a course. It's long-winded.
Da da da!
Da-da-da.
Da da da! For me, it's like being able to find ways to use Lifter more and more creatively is like one of the cues. Like we just had, it was a support ticket that had come in, and they explained what they were doing with Lifter, and I thought it was kind of an ingenious way to do things. They were selling books, and they were using the course feature to preview and profile the book. So it was like the course page had the cover of the book, description of the book. The first lesson was like the intro to the book. The second lesson was like the foreword, written by somebody. And then like the third one was the third lesson was like a summary of the book or about the author or something like that. And then like the fourth lesson was people that like this book also like these 5 other books. And they literally set up like LifterLMS to be like this complicated shopping cart. But the reason they set it up that way is because unlike like a WooCommerce store or something like that, they wanted to give more information and more pages and create like an experience for people that wanted to look at the books. And so for their use case, it worked really well. So it's always fun finding ways to, some people say, oh, I can do courses, but I can't do anything else. And it's like, we just kind of ran through a quick demo there of, hey, this is how you would run an event through your course pages and set up an automation for enrollment. And then what's nice is if you think about the edit page for that course, you're going to have a running roster of people that sign up for that event. So at the bottom, you're going to see anyone that enrolled right there. So there's a roster for you. Obviously you could look at your orders and stuff too, but that course page is a really, really nice way to go. Of course, Delphine says that's more complicated than what I need, but very helpful. Yeah, you could go easier. I mean, you could just set up a Zoom link, right? And then use a block on the home page like what Emily showed, and just link that Zoom link, directly to it, right? But if you're trying to sell and automate, attendance and things like that, then you're going to want to set up some extra steps. So let's see what Manuel says. Manuel says, my course has come to an end. How can I stop new subscriptions but leave the course open to enrolled students? I'm using a membership with 3 courses attached to it. Manuel, you are asking some, I don't want to say complicated, right? We have tools, we have options in the course editing page under restrictions that help with this, but this is a really cool conversation. So I'm going to ask Emily if she would, just pull up a course page with that restrictions options, talk about dates available for enrollment, dates available for the course, all that. But then I kind of want to expand the topic. So in your use case, you're saying the course has come to an end, right? Like, so I was running a cohort, the cohort's over, and I want people to still have access to the course, but I don't want any new enrollments. We have settings for that. So that's awesome. But I also want people that are watching the replay of this to think that about using these tools in other ways. For instance, we have a resource on the LifterLMS website about pre-selling courses. So it would be possible. I have this set up right now on. I have a website called wpagencyacademy.com, where we are launching a very large, like 47 lesson course on how to start and operate your own successful WordPress agency. And we are continuing to build out the back end of that course, but it's available for purchase now, and people can go through the first, I think, 3 or 4 sections of that course, and then we drip the content in a way that, obviously we know on our schedule we have time to finish that course before people that have already signed up for that course would get to that content. Hopefully I'm making clear. You can pre-sell a course before you finish it. And what's even cooler about that is you can use feedback from students taking the earlier lessons to help craft better content to finish up the course. So it's a really cool process. So we're going to show you the settings, but I want you to kind of keep your eyes and ears open to know that there's other ways to use these tools.
Yes. So if we jump into a course, like the event that I had, September 25 mega event, which is set up as a course, we can look into
Hold on. What was the name of that course again?
We have the
What was the name of the course again? Could you read that again?
September 2025 mega stream event. Woo!
I'm sorry, I'm feeling like a child today.
No, it's good. We'll put an exclamation point on it just for that. There we go. So diving into the restrictions specifically, I want to stop new subscriptions, but leave it open to enrolled students. You could just cut your access plan off right now. People can buy access via the access plan. But what if you just like deleted your access plans? People who already purchased would still have access and no new people would be able to come in. You could also set up, you do want people to retain access, but if you didn't want people to retain access, as some people watching our stream later might want to remove access, we can have course time period to say the course will start on September 1st and then end September 30th. So that would be one way that we could, where's my, September's in the past. There we go, 1 to 30. So we could set a start and end date. And the problem with this is that it would cut people off when that period ends. So they would no longer be able to access the course content. I wouldn't recommend this for you, but that is one way to do it. My recommendation for you is probably just to cut the access plan off so no new people can come in, but the people who are there can stay. You're using a membership with 3 courses attached to it. The same thing would apply for a membership. So if you have 3 courses and you have 1 membership that's giving auto enrollment to those 3 courses, you would simply cut the access plan off of the membership. So maybe we have our Academy membership, and our Academy membership is no longer open to new students, but the existing students can still retain access. We'll just delete these 3 access plans and that should work. Let us know, Manuel, if that is something you think would work for you. But restrictions work on both courses and memberships. They have a little bit of different restrictions. If you try to access content that's restricted to a membership, you don't have access, you'll get redirected somewhere. That's what restrictions look like on a membership. On a course, they look a little bit different because courses allow you to have time periods. They allow you to have prerequisites. They allow you to drip content out slowly over time. But basically, I think killing access plans is the way for you to go. What do you think, Kurt?
I agree with you. There, short, simple, to the point. Let's drive that one home. All right. Good. You have to turn it off or it keeps going. It loops.
I think that
Or
one
you
might
push the
be
button.
very long. I put a long one in there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was some crazy stuff right there. All right. So Manuel. Try deleting the access plan. Adam Silver's with us. Adam Silver is, if I understood your messaging correctly, Adam, you are now promoting your own running event. Is that correct? Is that correct? All right. Let's see what Delphine says now. What if you have outstanding vouchers but do not use the particular access plan except for the outstanding vouchers? Can you delete the access plan and still use the vouchers because they don't expire? Well, that's a weird, crazy question, Delphine. I always look at vouchers. Oh, you're not gonna like me on this one. I just saw a report that said something like Starbucks is sitting on like $1.6 billion in unused gift cards or something crazy like that. And that's the way I look at vouchers. I realize your clients might not look at vouchers that way, but I look at vouchers like that. I look at it like a company buys 50 seats, 30 people show up, 20 don't use their tickets, 20 didn't use their tickets. I mean, that's literally like the way I look at that. Um, when I use vouchers, it's typically for some type of group purchase access plan. And they say, oh, we're going to have like 100 people that want to do this, and like 30 people do it. I don't give them back money for 70 seats. It's like, especially if it's a cohort that runs on a time, like, yeah, we're going to offer this course from January to March. And then April rolls around and they're like, well, we had 70 people that didn't use it. You still bought the access but didn't use it. That's not my problem. And that sounds mean. I know that sounds mean, but like, if you bought a ticket to a concert and didn't go to the concert, would you get your money back? Chances are you wouldn't, right? And so that's kind of the way that I look at vouchers. Vouchers to me is a ticket. And so, but now I am curious, if I delete the access plan, could you still use the voucher? I don't think you can.
If you have outstanding vouchers but do not use a particular access plan except for the outstanding vouchers, can you delete an access plan and still use the vouchers? Voucher codes are different than coupons. Coupons are going to be applied to the price of a product. It's a 100% off coupon, a $50 off coupon, something like that. You have to go through an access plan to use a coupon. So coupons would not work, but vouchers circumvent the purchase process by just enrolling you into a course. So if you're using the registration features and voucher codes in LifterLMS, you don't need access plans for that. But if you're using coupons, those do need access plans.
Yeah. But so the voucher bypasses the access plan.
Yeah.
So, but if you deleted the course or deleted the membership, it obviously wouldn't work. Or even if you, because if you had it hidden from the catalog, it would still work. Because it's, you got me thinking in circles, Delphine. Your voucher should still work as long as your course or membership is active.
Yes. But as Manuel's other question here goes kind of along the same lines, if I erase an access plan, how will students access their course? They will still have access to the course. The only thing the access plan does is it creates the order. And so if someone has lifetime access to a course, because maybe it's $1,000 lifetime access, they will be able to access that course forever, even if the access plan goes away, because they have an order that says they're supposed to be enrolled in the course. So once the access plan is gone, new orders cannot be created, but those orders that have already been created, whether they're recurring or individual payments, they will remain charging the recurring payments, or the one-time payments will obviously stay the same. But even a recurring payment is still a valid order if the access plan gets deleted. We have this question a lot. Oh no, like if I delete my access plan, will all the orders fail? No, the orders will be just fine. It's just that new orders cannot come in because the plan is gone.
Yeah, and then something else to kind of remember, people get confused by this too. If I'm selling a course for $50 and 10 people sign up, $50 recurring, $50 a month, right? And then I change the price to $100. Those original people are still going to pay $50 a month. Like, the system grandfathers in what they signed up for. It doesn't change their pricing. So that's like, people go, oh, what if I change my price? How do I change my price and not tick off my existing people? You don't have to worry about ticking off your existing people, because they're grandfathered into whatever they signed up for. Oh my goodness, it's a free course. Let that sucker run. Now you got a lead magnet.
Right.
Let that sucker run. Now you got a lead magnet. All right. Oh, let's see. What else do we have going on here? That's not a very good punch noise. Oh, I was watching Kevin Geary this morning before this call, so maybe that's why my brain is scattered all over the place. He was arguing with someone about how to format a page. It was someone had posted, I think it was the Poodle Press guy, was like, could you use the WordPress editor to duplicate this page? And then he write, no, you can't do it correctly. Not in WordPress by itself. You can't do it correctly. And then someone else wrote back, of course you could do it. It's easy. It's not even difficult. And then he went off on a huge tirade about that, which was kind of funny to see. But it made my little inner brain go. So I think Chris is going to take away all these features in StreamYard from us. I don't think Chris is going to want to keep this. There's too many toys in here now.
I like them. They're really cool.
It's absolute lunacy. Did you see they put up a teleprompter last week?
There's no, I didn't see the teleprompter.
Yeah. So in StreamYard, folks, like in case you're wondering, how do you make content, right? Like StreamYard's this awesome tool. And so there's a thing now, if you look at the menu, comments, banners, media and asset, style, and notes. Notes is open, and you could copy and paste notes in from like a script or something like that. And then it literally turns. So I don't know if you can see it. Go open up teleprompter, and then the little switch that's to the right, click it.
Teleprompter.
And then see what it does. It puts the notes on the screen.
Is this in the media?
Yeah.
Style.
So no. Comments, banners, media, style, and notes. Do you have a notes menu option?
I do have the notes. I see it. I can type in here.
Yeah, you can type in there and then hit the slider at the top right next to teleprompter, and it'll put it right on the main screen.
Okay. Here, I have to have a good message. No, that's not the word. I don't even know how to spell the word I want to type.
I know how to say it though. That is coerce.
Yeah. I was going to say coerce the public to buy LifterLMS, and then I turn on the teleprompter. There we go. Only visible to me. I see. Okay.
Yeah. So like if you had to like do like a record an audio spot for a podcast, you would put it there, and that way it doesn't look like you're reading off of a different screen.
That's pretty cool. I hate teleprompters. I mean, I'm dyslexic, and so the monotone values of my voice get even worse when I'm reading a script.
I don't know if I have a problem with monotone values of my voice.
No, you have a dynamic voice. I'm like, hello everybody, today we're going to talk about this, and in Lifter you do that, etc. It's just like one tone.
Well, Manuel likes you anyway. Says thanks, Emily. Sorry for so many questions. There is not so many questions, Manuel, and just to be even more transparent, we got 20 minutes to go and we're out of questions. So y'all better come to the plate. I see there's numbers watching us live right now, so folks should be coming in to see us, but I'm not seeing them. We've got a lot of folks watching on X. X seems to be where people are coming from lately. So if you are on X right now, watching us on LifterLMS on X, go ahead and give us a shout in the comments. That'd be awesome. And then give us a like and a follow somewhere too. That's awesome. How to enable a pre-sale for a membership before a course goes online? Well, you're putting a couple of different things in the same question, Manuel. But a membership is a product and a course is a product. And so if you have the course set up and its access is tied to the membership, then you could use the enroll for a membership between these dates. But the membership would give them access to the course. And so you would want to adjust the restrictions in the course as well if the content wasn't ready to be viewed yet. Bada boom, bada bing. Show comments on the stage. There we go. It's nice.
Pre-sale for a membership.
All right. So Fluent Cart was the one thing that popped off to me this week. Was there anything that popped off to you?
Yeah, there was. I used Perf Matters for the first time this
Oh,
week.
how did that go? Because I've been looking at that.
It was good. It it worked to increase speed a bit. Perf Matters, for anyone who doesn't know, is a plugin that lets you turn off other plugins loading on pages. So I have some clients who think the solution to their problem, that the fact that they have 70, 80 plugins, is to use Perf Matters to turn off certain plugins from loading on certain pages. When I think it's a more holistic problem in the business as to why 70 plugins got on the website in the first place and why we think we need that much functionality. And so that's a lot of the essence of my business lately, is convincing people, convincing clients that, you know, maybe we have holistic problems as to what created the situation to begin with, rather than taking duct tape and band-aids to what we have now. So that's where like Perf Matters comes in. I'm trying to use Perf Matters, but I'm like, these infinite amount of Elementor add-ons and WooCommerce add-ons, what if we just simplified our e-commerce in another way? And yeah, I mean, they're running a big business, you know, doing 7-8 figures per year. And I mean, I guess it's like a small to medium business, but they have a problem with like, oh, I'm trying to run Groundhog CRM out of the back end of my WordPress website. I'm trying to run LifterLMS out of the back end of my WordPress website. I'm trying to run WooCommerce as well. So they have like a tech stack of heavy plugins running all out of the back end of one WordPress website. And they're doing 7 or 8 figures with thousands of customers. And so this is a situation where we may want to redistribute. Maybe we put Groundhog in a separate server. Maybe we, you know, do an e-commerce engine that's not as complicated as WooCommerce, because it doesn't really fit the needs that we have. Our product offerings are relatively simple, so maybe WooCommerce isn't necessary. And then Lifter, you can't really change. Lifter has to be on your WordPress site somewhere. But maybe we could offload to customers who have been off the website for 2 years, delete their accounts, clear stuff out. But we're not thinking about it like that. We're just like, shit, we need to speed up the homepage.
Yeah.
And so that's why Perf Matters is important here. This is like kind of a,
yeah. You could just buy better hosting too.
Yeah.
That always becomes the question for me, right? Because until recently, I did not understand. I'll talk to some people and they'll be like, "Oh, we're paying $1,500 a month for hosting," and I'll be like, "What? How? What?" Right? But it's like, okay, I would, for $1,500 a month, man, my site better sing it. I could put I put 3 wheelbarrows of crap in the plugin list. It should still sing. It should still fly like butter. But it's interesting, you know. It's there's a huge difference in the quality of hosting between different services and stuff like that. It's interesting when you start to go down that rabbit hole. A lot of times I tell people, like, well, we just had somebody, right, that had a technical issue with SiteGround, and then we said that's a known conflict with SiteGround. You know, you can talk to their support, or you could consider a migration off of SiteGround. And they're like, we don't want to leave SiteGround. And for the life of me, I can't figure out why somebody would like, that's a weird one to build your house on, you know, like, because it's not like it's super custom hosting that was built on some fancy thing. It's like, okay, it doesn't work on Bluehost, I'm going to move. Doesn't work on SiteGround, I'm going to move. Doesn't work on HostGator, I'm going to move. Those were simple things. It wasn't like they built some giant, custom server with their own applications and cloudways and stuff like that. It's straightforward. I get confused when people stick their banner in the ground on certain things like that.
Yeah.
Delphine apparently would like us to explain further on the Manuel question. So he is selling the course through a membership, right? And so you could limit the enrollment to the membership through the restrictions, Delphine. But if the course is auto-enrolled, they would have access to the course that's not done yet, right? If he's trying to pre-sell a course. So in order for them to not get access to a course that's not done yet, you would go into the restrictions under the course, and you would say that, it's unavailable till a certain day. And so it would auto enroll them into the course, but they wouldn't be able to see the content in the course until the release date.
Yeah.
Let's see, where else am I? Show comments on stage. I'm going to turn that one back off. Oh, now there's more options. Look at that. That's kind of cool. Big, tall. All right, we're learning as we go here because there's all kinds of new crap coming up in this tool. I'll turn that off. All right. Whew. Media assets.
Huh? 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 Huh?
Okay, I'm having too much fun. In terms of things that might be coming up soon, I was just looking at some of our notes, and I was hopeful that we were going to have a continuing education feature coming out for Lifter soon. And I don't know if it's going to be this month or next month or what. We've got a lot going on with getting ready for the holidays and planning the things that we do at Lifter. But I am kind of excited to see the continuing education thing happen. And then we've made some changes. And I don't know if this is released yet or a forthcoming release, where seeing the results from somebody's quiz will be much easier. You won't have to hopscotch your way through the quiz menu so awkwardly to find somebody's quiz submission. You'll be able to get to it through their student account. Let's see. What else is there worth talking about, Emily? I just dropped 2 big bombs right there.
Yeah. There's that. There was I don't even remember what it is. Something big in Lifter. I don't remember if it was like social learning. I think social learning got the upgrade with the media files thing, the protected media
files. That's, you know what? For the way that works is, I hate to say it, but I think the way that it works, I think confuses more people than makes people happy. Like, you add a picture now if you have a LifterLMS powered website and you add a picture to your media bin, at the bottom right hand side, you get like a warning notice that says, "No, this image is not protected," And I think if people aren't aware that change was there, I think it freaks them out. Just the way that it pops up. Your content is not protected. Whoa! I want protected content. What happened? And it's not a bad warning. It's just telling you that you have the option to restrict access to certain things.
Yeah. There's updates at some point coming to continuing education professionals using LifterLMS to have a more clear way to offer those continuing education credits and notify how and when those credits expire. Right now in Lifter, if you want to offer continuing education, you're going to have to kind of build your own system, maybe around certificates. Maybe certificates count as continuing education credits. Maybe you're using GamiPress as an integration, and then points can count as certificate education credits. But making that process a little simpler will be in Lifter soon enough.
Yeah, I'm going to pull up one of my newer demo sites here for you, Delphine, because I think us talking verbally has probably added some confusion somewhere. Because now your question says, how do I restrict access? And I don't know what Fargo is. I never watched Fargo, the movie. Never watched it. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should do that my day tomorrow. Anyway, let's go here. How do I restrict access? So let me do a presentation here. We'll share a screen. We'll go to our dashboard and just confirm with me. Emily, are you seeing the dashboard?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to go down to one of my courses, Delphine. I'm going to pull up courses, and we're going to go in here and we're going to say Advanced Techniques in Hand Therapy. And I'm going to click on Edit. That's going to take me to the edit screen. And if we go down, like, so this is our normal, course page, right? So we're building the course page, and then we have our access plans, we have our continue button, we have our syllabus. This is all normal course building stuff. If we get down to course options at the bottom, and this is a well-equipped demo site. So you see a lot of options here, right? We have advanced videos activated. We're connected to Ninja Forms. We have BB Press, reviews, instructors, restrictions in general. And this instructors thing is new. It used to be over in the right-hand column and people would get lost, but now we put instructors right here in its own tab. So you're able to change those instructors out or add instructors if you wanted to. So if you wanted to add an instructor, you could search them out, and we could add Dr. Samantha. So now she can be an instructor as well. All right. So that's right there. But we want to talk about restrictions. And so if we go into restrictions, you're going to see a bunch of these tabs right here, these switches that you can turn on or off. So again, we're in courses, not memberships. We're in courses. Courses give you extra options because that's where the content actually is, right? So we can enable an enrollment period. And so we could say, okay, we want to open this up for enrollment. We want people to be able to sign up as early as November 1st, and we want them to be enrolled before the first of the year, right? So let's say I'm going to end it on December 31st. The enrollment message, I can customize this. I can make this say whatever I want it to. And for the closed message, I can make that say whatever I want it to, okay? And I can always toggle that on or off by using the toggle switch. If we go to enable the course time period, that's different than enrollment. So enrollment is when they can enroll for the course. But if we say we're pre-enrolling for this, and let's say that the course actually starts on December 25th, right? So we're going to let people enroll up to 6 days, like a week after Christmas. So let's just say that we want to open the course up on Christmas for some reason. So I click that, and the course start date is going to be December 25th. Okay. And the course end date, let's say that we just run that for a quarter, right? So that'll be at the end of March. So I'm going to say April 1st because it's April Fool's Day. So then I can customize my open message and I can customize my closed message. Okay. And then if I really wanted to get fancy, let's say I was still writing the course, I could do enable lesson drip, right? So we could say the drip method after the course start or enrollment, right? Or none. We could say number of lessons to make immediately after available on course start. So let's say that I want to have, they can get access to the first 4 lessons, and then I want to delay things by 5 days. Okay. I'm just showing you all of the restrictions here, and you can enable course capacity if you want. You could say, oh, I only want to have 12 people in this course. Maybe you're doing some live training sessions and you want to keep it, a manageable cohort. So, and then this is the custom message that you could put in whenever you sell the course out. Okay. So this is just an example of the different things that you can do. So if I click save here, and then we go look at this in another tab, share this tab instead. It says this course opens on, and then there would be the date there. I've got continuing education credits in here for some reason, created some kind of a tag. I did that on someone else's tour, I guess. But so we can view that as myself. We can view it as a visitor, and we can view it as a student. And so the enrollment information changes. The access to access plans changes based on who's in it. Like if I say a visitor, I should be able to dynamically see the access plans well, I don't see access plans. Maybe I don't have access plans set up. I don't know, but that's basically how the restrictions work.
And Delphine asked, what about restricting media files?
I don't know, but first, a word from our sponsor. Bojangles50k.com. The Bojangles50k.com. You want to run in circles? You want to run with friends? Go to Bojangles50k.com. Okay, what about restricting images or something like that? Emily, want to do a screen share on that real quick?
Sure. If I jump to my
I thought we were going to
website.
run out of stuff for the call, and we've only got 3 or 4 minutes left. We're doing great.
Yeah. Restricting media files is restricted. Restricted files is just a part of Lifter Core, right? I don't think that's...
Yeah, it's part of Lifter Core. It's not special.
Yeah, it's not even an add-on. So whenever you're editing one of your media files, under Media Library, there's LifterLMS Media Protection. Tells you the media is not protected, and then you can select one course or membership to restrict the media file to. Right now, there's not an option for multiple, so you couldn't say Saving Strategy course and Business Budgeting course are supposed to have this file restricted, so you could be enrolled in either one. Right now, it's just one course or one membership. And so you can also access this when you're embedding media anywhere on your website. It could be within a course membership, or it just could be within a page. So if I put an image in here, I go to my media bin, I'll drop in what picture looks like it should be related to only something members would have access to. These are just generic photos. It seems like none of these photos are important enough to restrict. Here we go. These are our critical numbers.
Critical numbers.
Critical numbers that are only supposed to be visible to members. There's this little lock icon, protect image, and that gives you the same dialog window that we saw before to restrict to maybe the Academy membership. And then when I click that lock icon, it should say currently protected by Academy. So we know that this media file is only going to be accessible if you're in the Academy membership.
Well, folks, I think that brings us to the conclusion of another Ask Me Anything call. I want to thank Adam Silver for coming and hanging out with us. Delphine, Manuel, absolutely. Don't forget, if you want to try something with LifterLMS, you could certainly sign up for the demo, which is $1 for 30 days of hosted access to a pre-populated website. That's at lifterlms.com/try. But if you'd like to make the purchase and jump off the cliff and build your wings on the way down, you could certainly get the LifterLMS 55% off code at lifterlms.com/AMA-gift, lifterlms.com/AMA-gift. All right. I feel good about all that. Anything you want to mention before we go, Emily?
No, I think I'm good.
All right, you're at wpcourseguide.com. I am at manananomas.com. And you two are very interesting today. Maybe I should watch Kevin Geary before all of our shows. Folks, have yourselves a wonderful day, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.